Estás escuchando Radio Primavera Sound, proudly presented by Cupra.
Estamos aquí en Radio Primavera Sound, no paramos de conocer a maravillosos artistas que a lo mejor están viniendo por primera vez a tocar a España, como es el caso de Christian Lee Hutson. This is your first visit to Spain, I believe.
It is, yeah.
What's your first impression? You just played less than an hour ago, I think.
It's awesome. Great crowd. It really reminds me of Southern California, which is where I'm from, weirdly, and yeah, it was incredible. I hope to come back many times.
What expectations did you have of Spain as a country for coming to perform? From speaking to other friends of yours who are musicians.
I expected like a very vocal and excited crowd. I think is about it. People speak highly of this festival everywhere I go. So everyone I talked to about coming here was like, you're just going to have fun no matter what, because the festival is run really well. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a festival that also shines because of the musical community. Like a lot of bands like Stereolab or Steve Malcolmus Hard Quartet. You know, Steve Malcolmus has been here with Pavement, with his solo, with the Jigs. And there's that sense of like running into other musicians who've been on the road with them for decades.
Yeah.
Are there we'll get into your friends, but who are you excited about running into at this festival from looking at this year's lineup?
I was really excited I'm excited to see MJ Lenderman. Last night we got in, we weren't able to make it for Sabrina Carpenter, and I like seeing kind of the bigger like late night stage stuff sometimes, just because the show is always crazy. Yeah, I'm excited. We had like overlap with a lot of people, so I really wanted to see Kim Deal and Dead and people like that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of fly by the seat of my pants when I come to festivals, and just like whoever I see, I end up seeing, and whoever I don't, it's not in the cards.
Well, the style of music that you make is very much affiliated to American roots music, folk, country, alt country. And it's funny because this year, because Chapel Roan is our big headliner tonight, I see a lot of cowboy hats, a lot of cowboy boots.
There's tons of cowboy hats here, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think, is country back on the mainstream, would you say, thanks to your efforts and Chapel's on her side?
I guess so. It always, I feel like we'll be back in some way, like every few years. It goes through some kind of weird renaissance of sorts, or like it works in cycles. And this is a year where it seems to be back on. Next year, maybe not, but 2 or 3 years from now, perhaps again.
Yeah. Trends fly.
They do. Yeah, faster and faster.
But I would like to ask, do you consider, because nowadays, musicians of your age have grown up with internet, so open sources of music. It's not like when I was young, I had to buy CDs, and if I wanted to hear a new album, I either bought it or hoped that someone in my classroom had a copy so I could bootleg it or whatever, cassettes. But this has created a landscape where genres, there's a blurry line among genres on people's albums. But yours is quite pure in the sense of it sounds like an American record. It evokes American imagery. Do you consider yourself a purist in the musical genre?
I don't. I feel like I'm pretty scattered, but I'm like I'm maybe as scattered as anyone else is, in terms of like I listen to a lot of different kinds of music, and so different things are always infiltrating the thing. And whenever you're the person who's made something, you can point out where you took from this genre or that genre or this record or. But it's flattering and nice to hear that it maybe is harder to pick out, or it feels more pure, because I can, when I listen to it, I hear like, I don't know, I took from that and I took from that. So,
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I'm a purist only in the sense that I like the acoustic guitar, and I'm like, I'm pretty much afraid of technology across the board. I don't really like it multiplies the options too much. I like them to be fairly limited. So yeah.
But I like how you introduce atmosphere into your music. You know, stuff that is very typical from the avant-garde genres and minimalism and soundtracks. Where does that love of introducing atmosphere into your music comes from?
I'm a big film buff. I just watch a lot of movies. I feel like I want to create, in most songs, I want to put you in a place that is very specific for you to experience the world of the song from. I think it just comes from watching so much TV and movies.
What's the latest movie that really left an impression in you? Those movies that make you feel part of, like you're in that world.
I just watched a movie recently called Quiz Show that I really liked.
With Ray Fiennes and John Turturro, right?
Yeah.
Is it Peter Weir? No.
It might have been Peter Weir. I can't. I know it's Ray Fiennes and John Turturro and kind of older. One of my favorite movies is Magnolia, so someone had recommended it to me for that reason. Yeah.
You know who directed Quiz Show?
Who?
Robert Redford.
Really? Wow. An amazing film. I feel
forgot.
like good actors make really the best directors usually.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know, like because they have that kind of like Hollywood movie kind of thing where everything is super technically well done.
And they trust the actors and they're like they kind of let them move more freely and less with like a closed fist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be a good fit in a Clint Eastwood movie. Not that it doesn't necessarily have to be, but you know how Clint Eastwood also works with in this kind of way and creates very American stories.
It'd be so fun. If I had any interest in acting, that would be so fun. But it's like so. I'm generally in life prefer behind the scenes more than in front of them.
But I also know that you're very fond of literature. I understand that you enjoy the prose of George Saunders, Haruki Murakami, Sally Rooney, Raymond Carver.
Totally.
And you've claimed in interviews that they have all informed your songwriting. So I'd like to know, who are you reading now that you think is like, there's something interesting in the way they use words and that you could translate into your albums?
I've just read an amazing book of essays by this woman, Elisa Gabbert, that came out in 2020 called The Unreality of Memory that I love. I love Scott McClanahan. Richard Bausch is one of my recent favorites. He has a collection of short stories called Rare and Endangered Species that is just fantastic character building and world building. So, yeah.
Is that something that you're very interested when you make albums? That it has to be some kind of a world building experience rather than just a collection of songs?
Yeah, absolutely. It is boring to me if I don't know the characters very well. I'm like, I won't return to it.
Well, what was the concept for Paradise Pop .10?
The concept was really just to see if I could write. I wanted to write a bunch of simple love songs. I had like done my first two records, kind of like complicated, a lot of moving parts, like heavy counterpoint kind of weird guitar parts, and I wanted to try and see if I could write a bunch of simple love songs, like pop in the traditional sense, pop love songs or whatever. Yeah.
And it's funny that to me that I know most artists go to phases at the beginning when you're defining your artistic personality. I understand that for a moment you were trying to sing in a kind of a fake accent.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to escape what you called your shitty California voice. What is the shitty California voice?
That's what you're listening to right now. That's the sound of my voice.
And why do you think you had like some kind of aversion to hearing yourself? Was it the first time you were listening back to your songs and were you struggling with?
Yeah, I think it was mainly like this thing that most people go through the first time hearing their voice recorded. I guess maybe it probably happens less and less now, But when I was first started recording music, I was like, that isn't me. Or, when I listened back to it, I was like, oh, that's like sounds nothing like me. And yeah, I don't know. There's like this fear that things that mattered or something didn't come from Santa Monica, California.
It's funny because the same thing happened to David Bowie.
Yeah.
It took years before he became David Bowie, and he tried all these. He was a folk singer and David Jones and this, that, the other, and and all of a sudden we keep like fawning over David Bowie, the most iconic artist, and it's like it took him a while to become David Bowie. So it's like. But what I wanted to get at, it's like the greatest of you have this. Have you ever struggled with what is known as imposter syndrome?
Oh, every day. I mean, 20 minutes before we played, I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Everyone that I know that makes really good music does, though. So it gets, the more that it comes up, I'm like, it doesn't really matter. This is just a symptom of making stuff. Is that you if you've ever had a dinner that your like mother-in-law or something prepared that she's like, it's not very good, like you don't need to say much about it, like you could use more salt, like that's I think what all artists kind of do in some ways, is like everything that went into it, so the ingredients become more important to you than the meal itself, and by the time you get to the show, sometimes you're like, oh, the meal is really bad. Don't worry about it. You don't need to, it's not very nutritious, or whatever it is. But yeah, all the time.
Well, Christian, it's been an honor to meet you. It's been a pleasure. I was really looking forward. Thank you for coming to play Primavera. I'm sure it's the first of many. We'll be seeing you around Spain in the near future, I hope.
Sweet. Yeah, thank you.
Where are you flying off to after here?
We're going to take a couple days off, and then we go to Madrid.
Nice. Okay, well, load up on your tapas and our lovely wines. We have very good wines in Spain.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm planning on doing. Yeah.
Pues muchas gracias, Christian Lee Hutson.
Yeah, thank you.
Estás escuchando Radio Primavera Sound, proudly presented by Cupra.